Hello there. My name's Quentin Russell, and I am the content marketing specialist here at Doc365. And today, as part of the first installment in our SharePoint Basics series, I'm going to be covering what web parts are in SharePoint Online. Now, as you're probably aware, SharePoint is a powerful productivity tool that can help you get the leg up on how you store and manage your files, organize your employees, it can help provide a central space where your team can come together. Now, one of the primary features that can make that happen is web parts. Web parts are a great way to add new functionality to your SharePoint pages, and they can further centralize what you're doing into one central platform. So before we get into that, however, I wanted to take a quick look at everything that we'll be talking about today. This is kind of a broad overview with how many people are attending. It's a bit flexible. And like I said, we're going to be doing a dedicated question and answer session at the end. So feel free to chime in then. Make sure to keep your mics muted until that portion. Additionally, if you would like, you can ask questions in the text chat, and I will do my best to answer those at the end during that section. Like I said, I wanted to make sure that everyone here is able to get the most out of this webinar as possible. Now, so this is a bit different than our normal webinars. So this is our first time doing this style of webinar. So there's going to be a few things that might need to be ironed out. So I really appreciate your patience on this. So first of all, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at what web parts are. After that, we're going to talk briefly about why you should use them. After that, we're going to go directly onto a SharePoint site where I'm going to show you how to find and add web parts to your pages. Once I've done that, I'll go over some choice web parts that you can add from out of the box SharePoint, which ones we recommend using, and talk about how to add them and what you can do with them on your site. And like I said, finally, we'll end things off with a question and answer session where I will do my best to answer any questions you may have. If I can't answer anything on the spot, I'll email you after the fact with a personal response to the question you've asked. So with that said, I'm going to take a brief moment to talk about who we are. So we're Doc365, and we're a company located in Jacksonville, Florida. We have over 17 years of experience working to build and customize SharePoint productivity solutions. Now, while we specialize in internet portals, we have plenty of experience working to build, implement, and maintain a wide variety of SharePoint-based products. These include contract management, vendor management, project management, help desk solutions, meeting solutions, really anything that can help your business be more productive and capable of doing what it needs to do. We have a lot of experience working with a broad range of companies and an even broader range of industries. So these include Jack's Federal Credit Union, Alabama A&M University, YMCA of Central Florida, Duval County Schools, several United Ways, and several others. If you have any questions about that, we'd love to answer that later. So moving on, kind of who we are, our mission. Our mission is to break down silos and get stronger employee engagement across your organization. What does that mean? Well, put simply, we want to provide you with powerful yet easy to use tools that can help you combat issues with employee engagement and collaboration. Because I'm sure you're well aware, employee engagement has kind of been an ongoing issue for the last couple decades, and we want to really help you overcome this challenge and live up to your business's full potential. We do that by taking your SharePoint subscription, your existing Office 365 investment, and we maximize that. And we help you derive full value out of that through custom web parts, as we'll be talking a little bit about later, automated workflows, and just building your SharePoint to match exactly what you're trying to do. So moving on to kind of the crux of the webinar, what are web parts? Well, to put things in perspective, I think the best way to visualize this is to think of your SharePoint site as a smartphone. The site is the phone itself. The page you're viewing is like the screen on your phone, and your web parts are the apps. Each one allows you to store different types of content within them. Continuing with the smartphone analogy, each app on your phone contains different bits of information. Your contacts app stores contact information, the weather app tells you the temperature, and your maps app gives you navigational information. Now, web parts do the same thing, except for the information in your organization. So right out of the box, Microsoft provides users with a wide range of web parts that you can easily add to your SharePoint pages. These are the quote-unquote building blocks that change the makeup of your SharePoint pages. What web parts you use on what pages can have a major impact on the content and functionality of a page. No matter what you're trying to do, you should be able to modify it modify that page to fit your needs. Now, as I said previously, Microsoft offers a ton of different options for what you can use right out of the box. Now, you're not limited to these. However, at the topic of adding third-party or custom web parts to your SharePoint site is a little beyond the scope of this webinar. The thing is that it's a bit of a process and it can take time. And if you don't know what you're doing, you risk screwing up your SharePoint environment. Now, the thing is you don't need custom web parts. You don't need third-party web parts to be successful. However, out of the box is perfectly functional. However, it's not super great as you grow larger as an organization. If you have under 50 employees, yeah, that's fine. It should be fine. You don't have to spend too much time with it. You might have to reevaluate what you're doing every 6 months. However, you have to think about scalability and growth. And if you're using, if you're just using out of the box SharePoint, out of the box web parts, once you get over that 50 employee mark, it's going to get more and more difficult to maintain your SharePoint environment, keep your documents organized, make sure all your workflows are functioning as they should. And it becomes a mess. So at that point in time, you might want to consider going to a third party, someone who might be able to take your SharePoint environment and, make it more accurately fit your needs. However, we're not here to talk about that right now. And if you'd like to have a more one-on-one conversation about that, let me know. I'd love to schedule a demo with you or have you talk to one of our team members, and they would be very happy to discuss, options with you. So moving on to, why you're here, why should you use web parts? Well, first of all, you kind of can't use SharePoint without using web parts. They're everywhere. But to really answer your question, you use web parts because they make your life really easy. If you use them correctly, web parts can help you consolidate information from all over your SharePoint site onto one page, if that's what you're looking to do. They can help you organize and improve your SharePoint pages. You can also use web parts that connect to other Microsoft and third-party tools that can allow you to really integrate all of your tools into your SharePoint site. The best part about this is that Microsoft allows you to connect web parts within SharePoint to enhance their functionality. Again, connecting web parts is a little more complicated than what we're going to be talking about in this webinar. However, we recently released a blog series on connecting web parts within SharePoint. And if you would like, I'd be happy to send that to all of you after the fact so that you can get more and learn more about SharePoint web parts. Now back to what I was saying. Why should you use web parts? Well, you want to use them because they help you turn SharePoint into your one-stop shop for easy, uncomplicated productivity. With that kind of out of the way, now that we've really covered the basics of web parts, they're not super complicated. They're pretty easy once you kind of get that explanation. However, unlike, with other webinars, I'm not just going to sit here and show a PowerPoint to you the whole time. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up our webinar, not our webinar, but our SharePoint. One second, there we go. So the first thing, what the heck? I apologize for this. Let me get that up. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into a SharePoint site that we have prepared for this occasion. This is a copy of the doc SharePoint, of just the basic doc intranet site. Real basic. It looks, if you were to, say, work with us to build out an intranet portal or some other solution, this would more accurately fit your colors, your branding, and it would be customized to fit your needs. However, I'm done with the sales pitch and everything. So to really show you how to use web parts, here's what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to click over here, and I'm going to click New, and I'm going to click New Page. So here's what I'm going to do. So, it's blank. It's created by Alex Wilbur. So create page. So first of all, this is a blank, fresh SharePoint page. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name it. I'm going to call it webinar demo page, because I'm feeling just really clever. So what I'm going to do, so this page hasn't been published yet. This is whenever you are building a new page within SharePoint, this is what you're going to see. So I can add, move, edit, and delete web parts at my leisure. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hover my mouse right here. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a plus sign pop up. So what you do is you want to click on that. And what this will do is this will bring up a list of web parts that you can add to your page. Now at the top, you'll see a couple basic ones. After that, you'll be able to look through the whole list of available web parts that you can use. And if you know what you're looking for, you can search for a web part up here so that you can save time, if you know what you're looking for. Now to add a web part, all you need to do is click on the one you want to use. For this one, I'm going to click highlighted content. Before I continue, I would like to ask everyone to mute themselves we will be having a question and answer session at the end. Now, basically after you click that, web part is put into place, voila, perfect. Off to the left, you can see a couple little icons. So right here, this is the, at the top is the edit icon. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to edit this particular web part. Now the thing is that this will only edit this web part. So if you have a copy of this web part later on in the page, it won't, the changes you make to this one won't affect that one. So, say you want to use the same web part a couple times on a page because you want to display different information, you don't have to worry about that. Now, the icon under that is the move icon. This allows you to move the web part around on the page. So this allows you to say if you want to have a particular web part above another or under another. And for those of you who are kind of filtering in late, do not worry about missing the first 10, 15 minutes of this. I will be sending out a recording of this webinar after the fact. So after this, right below that one is the duplicate web part option. Real simple, just copies it right underneath it. And then finally, the icon underneath that is the delete icon, because sometimes you need to delete a web part. You've made a mistake or you want to get rid of it because you're making a big change on the page. And if at any point you want to undo something you've just done, just click the undo button, brings it right back. And also the other thing is that if you want to, there's also save as a draft, save as a template. So if you build out a page a specific way with a specific web parts configured in a certain manner, and then you want to carry that over to other pages on your SharePoint site, you can just save this as a template, good to go. Let's see, now that we've kind of gone over how to use web parts, how to set them up pretty basically, I'm going to start going over some of the web parts that I personally prefer to use and that we tend to use pretty often here at Doc. So 1 second, we're going to go through this kind of alphabetically. So the first one we're going to go through with is the, real quick, what I would like to point out is that there are a couple web parts here that do not show up in out-of-the-box SharePoint. Because like right here, you see the custom Doc employee directory, Doc event detail. These are custom web parts that we have built for Doc intranet and other Doc products. If you want custom third-party web parts, that's a whole different discussion. We'd be happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you about potentially getting that set up for you. We'd love to do a quick demo, show you how a lot of that works. But back to the point, like I was saying, some of the ones that you're seeing right here aren't going to be showing up in out-of-the-box SharePoint. So I'm only going to be covering what you'll be able to get in out-of-the-box SharePoint. To kind of belabor that point. So let's go to the document library. Real basic one, what this web part allows you to do is allows you to display a document library that exists somewhere on your SharePoint site. and you can customize it with your own title, the view and the size, which is, you know, how many files you are displaying at a time on the in this view. So as you can see, if I go into edit, you can actually change like which document library you want to show. You want to show how many items that that show up on there. You can see, you can set it up so that people can have access to the command bar, or if you want to have it hidden, you can also turn it on so that people can filter things based off of different, yeah, you can also turn on dynamic filtering. And, you know, so essentially if you're connected to another list or library, that sort of thing. You know, this is pretty good for if you're, you know, if you're trying to build out a project site, or if you're trying to build out a employee directory site, or if you're trying to build an FAQ site, to have all of this information right here that people can access right from the page itself. So moving on to the next one, we're going to go with the file view. No, wrong one. Let's undo that. And then we're going to go down to the file viewer. Let me pull that up. Oh, it's up at the top. So that's kind of one of the default ones. Like, you know, there's the default out of the box, and then there's the default that Microsoft says you should probably be working with. So the first thing that'll happen is if you've not used the file viewer on a site in the past, it'll immediately ask you to upload a document as opposed to just having the web part be there. So what the file viewer does is that it allows you to insert individual files directly onto the page. These can be Excel files, Word files, PowerPoint, Visio, PDFs, and more. So let's kind of take a look at that. Go to stock images. Say you want to put a picture on the page, insert. It should show up. No, it's not showing up. Okay. Say we go, you know, access something from the OneDrive. We'll go with attachments. Nothing here. We'll go with, there we go, open that. And then immediately you can see right here, you know, files right there. People can scroll down, look through it. This is really good for if you want to have, say, a PDF, like going back to it, an employee HR page, where people can just scroll through the employee handbook, that sort of thing. You know, just keeping the files directly on the page. So moving on to the next one that we really like to use, it's the hero. So what this is this kind of really, this gives you that kind of modern kind of SharePoint look to it, because it allows, we really like it because it allows you to create visually interesting roadmaps for users. So let's say you want to select a link, go somewhere on, you want to send someone somewhere on your site. So let's see. Say I want to send them to the documents page. Say I want to send them directly to Global Marketing Management. So open that, and then right there, immediately what happens is so if someone were to click on that, it would send them directly to that PDF. If you want to, you can even make it so that an image comes up. If you want to use, say, change, use a stock image, come here, click on that. And immediately, you know, you go to, that's done. You go to click on that. If I can't click on it right now, but if I were to publish this page and then click on that, it would send people to that PDF. So it really allows you to create a personality for the page and really define what it should be looking like, and it can really help with your branding. And this can be really good for getting employees engaged with your site. And also, like I was saying, it provides that visually stimulating roadmap that tells people where they should go, what's important, and what they should be looking at on a particular SharePoint site. So moving on to the highlighted content. So this dynamically displays content based on the content type, filter, or search string. So this can show important files that people may want to pay attention to. As there really isn't any content on the site right now that we haven't configured it, you know, it won't show anything for right now, but if there is, it would show that kind of highlighted content. So this is really, again, you know, going back to why you would want to use the hero web part. This shows people what's important, what they should be looking for, and, you know, really lets them know where they should be directing their attention. Another one that you can use, let's get that added, is the Microsoft Forms. So this allows you to create interactive forms and quizzes that users can use. So what this does is it lets you gather important information from your users to help them feel more engaged with what they're doing. So for example, you can build a new form on the site. Say you want to do, webinar. You create that, it'll take you to a different page. If it load, it'll take you directly to Microsoft Forms where you can go in, and what you can do is, add new, go through, you can ask people to provide their first name, organization, job title. You can ask them for any comments they may have. Basically, it's a good way to, measure engagement, see what employees are doing, see what they're feeling like, gauge morale. You can also add existing forms that are on there. So if we were to just delete that, say you already you've already built a form within Microsoft Forms. I have not built one, so you won't be seeing that. But you'd be able to go through. You could either go to Microsoft Forms, or if you had a link to a specific form you were wanting to use, you could just insert that right there. It would also allow you to collect the responses. You could even make it so that it shows people the form results once they've completed it. However, that's really depending on what you're trying to do with that specific form. So moving on, the people web part, this is a really good one. We like using this. We actually use a sort of modified version of this. But what this does is it allows you to, so say you want people to know who's working on a project, or you want people to be able to get to know each other. So you search the directory, say you want to get Alex Wilbur on here. So right now, what you see is you just see Alex Wilbur, marketing assistant. However, if you wanted to, because we're in the compact layout, if you wanted to do the descriptive layout, you can essentially do sort of social media profiles. So you can see who the person is, their name, job title. You can provide a link to their LinkedIn profile, Facebook profiles, different social media profiles. And you can also add a description about the person. So you can have them ask questions about one another, write up about themselves. But either way, basically, it's a good way for everyone to get to know each other, which is pretty important considering we're all working from home right now. And it's really hard to get that face-to-face interaction and really know what you're looking for. So, something to consider. And the last one I'm really going to talk about is the Power BI report. So let's get that down here. Because as you know, Office 365, SharePoint is a part of Office 365. So you are able to connect SharePoint and Power BI. So what you can do is you can add reports that you're doing pages. So say you are building out a SharePoint page to be about a specific project. Well, what you can do is you can build interactive reports within Power BI and then track that information and show it directly on that page. So, say you have a report and everything, it should take you to Power BI. So you can either paste the report and then you can name it. You can choose how it's displayed and everything. It's pretty good. And like I was saying, these are just basic web parts. These are just the out-of-the-box web parts that we recommend. We have other parts that you've been seeing, other parts as I've been scrolling down. We recommend using those, but those are custom in-house web parts that you can really only get access to by partnering with us and using some of our SharePoint productivity solutions. If you're interested in learning more about that, you should definitely reach out to us. We'd love to have a more in-depth conversation with you to show you some of our solutions. So with that said, that's all I really have to say about that. Just a brief, here are the web parts, here's what they do, here's some web parts we recommend. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. Now's the time to unmute your mics and everything. I'd love to see if I can answer any questions you may have. Okay. Well, I don't think anyone has any questions right now. However, if you have any questions after the webinar, I'd love to feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to answer any you may have. With that, if you want to get into contact with us, feel free to reach out to us for a free demo. We'd love to have a quick, 30-minute conversation about what our SharePoint productivity solutions can do for you. We have, we'd love to really help you figure out how you can take your SharePoint investment and really make it more productive for you. So please reach out to our, one of our team members, specifically Ben Senjum at ben@mydoc365.com, or you can call us at 904-309-9970. If no one has any questions, I think that's going to be it. Thank you very much for coming out to this webinar today. We will be sending out a copy of it to you once we have finished editing it and publishing it. And I hope that everyone has a great day, and I hope that you all stay safe.